Texas background checks play a crucial role in employment decisions, with the Department of Public Safety serving as the primary agency managing these checks. Understanding how these background checks work can help both employers and job seekers navigate the process effectively. The Texas Department of Public Safety, or DPS, maintains the state's criminal history records through two main systems. The computerized criminal history database contains all criminal records, both public and private, but is only accessible to authorized agencies. For the general public, the conviction database provides access to public criminal records. Texas offers several types of background checks, depending on specific needs. Name-based checks use an individual's full legal name and date of birth to search records. Fingerprint-based checks provide more accurate results and are typically required for regulated industries. Other options include federal background checks, sex offender registry searches, driving record checks, and financial history reviews. For employment purposes, background checks in Texas generally cover the past 7 years of information. This includes criminal history, employment verification, and sometimes credit information. However, there are important exceptions to this 7-year rule. If a position pays over $75,000 annually, employers can review records dating back to when the applicant turned 18. Certain industries like insurance, financial services, healthcare, and residential delivery services also have extended screening requirements. Obtaining a background check in Texas is relatively straightforward. For a basic search, you need the person's full name, date of birth, and social security number. Public records can be accessed online through the Texas DPS website, while fingerprint-based checks require scheduling an appointment through the Texas Fingerprint-Based Applicant Clearinghouse of Texas, known as FACT. Fingerprinting is mandatory for many professions in Texas. Healthcare workers, childcare providers, law enforcement officers, teachers, foster parents, and various licensed professionals must undergo fingerprint-based background checks. These checks are processed through IdentoGo, the official fingerprinting service partner of Texas DPS, with results typically available within 24 to 72 hours. Employers conducting background checks must comply with both state and federal regulations. Under Texas law, employers cannot consider convictions older than 7 years, unless specific exceptions apply. They must also follow Equal Employment Opportunity Commission guidelines by assessing the nature of the offense, time elapsed, and relevance to the job role. Additionally, the Fair Credit Reporting Act requires employers to obtain written consent before conducting checks and provide applicants with copies of their reports if they influence hiring decisions. Professional licensing in Texas often requires background checks as part of the application process. Real estate agents, nurses, security guards, attorneys, and insurance agents all undergo screening to ensure they meet state standards for integrity and trustworthiness. The cost and processing time for Texas background checks vary by type. Name-based searches cost $3 per search and take 1 to 2 business days to process. Fingerprint-based searches range from $10 to $40 plus additional fees for fingerprinting services, with results available within 24 to 72 hours in most cases. It is important to note that only convictions appear in public records. Arrests without convictions, dismissed charges, sealed records, and juvenile records are generally not included in public background checks, though they may be accessible to law enforcement and certain authorized employers. The Texas Public Information Act ensures transparency by providing citizens with access to many government records. However, confidential documents and pending cases may not be available for public viewing. For vital records such as birth certificates, marriage licenses, or death certificates, requests can be submitted to the Texas Department of State Health Services for a fee. Understanding Texas background check requirements helps both employers and job seekers navigate the hiring process more effectively, while ensuring compliance with relevant laws and regulations. Whether you're an employer conducting pre-employment screening or an individual seeking to verify your own record, knowing how the system works is the first step toward making informed decisions.